On a smooth Thursday evening, how's everyone doing? It's the teddy bear, Mr. Rated Extraordinaire, and welcome to Night Tracks. And today, Artist Spotlight, my goodness. Gifted vocalists, Brownstone are in the building. Arin, Nicci, and Teisha. Lord have mercy, looking as captivating as usual. With their new hit single, of course, All I Want. Ladies, how are you doing this evening?
Hello, hello. How are
Hey,
you?
I'm doing fine. Thank you so much for taking time out of your busy schedule and joining us this evening. I got to ask, it's been 25 years. You finally took some time to get in the studio and do some music for us, and long overdue. And you guys did a wonderful job. I wanted to ask you collectively, how do you feel about the overall project?
I feel great about it. I think it's an amazing blessing to be able to, after 25 years, hit the ground running with a single that was produced by Marcus Divine, Detroit's own The Heat Miser Marcus Divine, and the first record as Brownstone renewed with my sorors and sisters, Aaron and Tisha.
Yeah. Nikki, you have been a very busy lady over the years. I said, wait a minute, is she going to get in the studio? You guys gonna get
You said, wait, I'm going to get in the studio, huh?
yeah, when you
Yeah.
in the studio. I am so thrilled that you guys have returned and started doing something that I know collectively that you love to do. But I gotta ask you, Nikki, this question is for you. When you
Mhm.
started, social media was a dream. There
Mhm.
were still a whole bunch of record labels. And now we have a handful of record labels. We have a lot of independent artists.
Mhm.
And I wanted to ask you, how is social media today has been, I guess, somewhat advantageous to get your product out as far as being able to tour and also being able to promote your music?
I think social media has been a huge blessing on a lot of levels just because it connects you with your audience and with your fan base, and that is incredible. I know that, social media was a tool that I used when going back as far as, R&B Divas, when I cast a show, like I reached out to everybody via social media. So I think for music, for anything you're doing, used the right way, social media is a huge blessing. It's a huge, it's sort of, I like to think of it as leveling the playing field a little more. I think now, you have some other challenges that have come up since, people now realize when you have access to your fan base, can't be that free. So,
Right.
it's got to be some restrictions here and there. But for the most part, it's a beautiful thing if you use it the right way.
Princess Aaron, my goodness, Lord have mercy. Your vocals are incredible. Are incredible. And I wanted to ask you, how do you feel about the new hit single, All I Want?
I love the new single. I'm with Nikki and Tisha on this. I love the new single. It's Brownstone, but refreshed version of Brownstone for 2022 and beyond. I say it's 2022 and beyond. Um, so it's still keeping with the same sound that you love from Brownstone, but just we got to keep it current, keep it modern, and just made
Hmm.
it more modern. That's it, but still stayed on brand with everything that you love about Brownstone.
What I've noticed listening to the new single, from a vocal standpoint, your vocals are incredible.
Thank
And
you.
Oh, thank
I'm really,
you. Thank you.
and me, I'm a stickler. As my son teases me all the time, Dad, you old school, you stuck back in the 70s. That's all right. I'm fine with that. I'm comfortable with that. The overall production is incredible. Um, who was first? Because I know, Nikki, I know you. You are very strong minded and very opinionated. I know that. So, and that's a
Well,
beautiful.
not as opinionated as I wish I could be, but
We all are actually. I mean,
right,
that's what makes a
right.
great artist.
So, being that strong willed and opinionated, I wanted to ask you, how important is it to have the right producer to work with you to bring out the essential best quality of Brownstone?
Well, I want to say first of all, I think, and this is where going back to that question of the disadvantages and the advantages of social media.
Right.
I'm probably one of the most open and giving in terms of other people operating in the place of their creativity, people that you can work with. So it's not hard at all. I'm confident that people that I work with creatively are just as brilliant as I am. So there's no need for me to be strong-willed or, in a situation where I have to control things. I think
Right.
initially one of the things I was concerned about was more than for us, it was the fan base, whether or not the fan base would receive a record that wasn't like, you know what I'm saying? Because this record isn't really that. I mean, you
Right.
know that the vocals are there, but it is not the traditional like stacked 85 times. So it was really a question of like, y'all think the people gonna go for this? And then I was like, but you know what? I'm here to just kind of let our producer use us. And I think we were very blessed to be in the presence of just overall my group members and the producer and songwriter did an amazing job. So there wasn't really anything for me to say except where do I go? Is that a good take? I wanted to re-sing. It was even to the point where I wanted to go in and recut a vocal. And I was like, can I? He's like, nope. I said, okay. So yeah, that will ain't so strong when you feel safe with creatives.
Absolutely.
It's just, faith more than anything.
I agree. Do you think from the way the industry used to be and where it is now, do you think it's become more advantageous as far as from a respect level towards female artists? Do you think there's more respect given to the female artists in the words maybe 10, 15 years ago?
No, I don't. I think it has, unfortunately, I feel like we've kind of gone backwards a little bit. And I say that in some regards, absolutely. I mean, thankfully, we have a lot of advocacy. And Arin and I just participated in a Grammy advocacy event as well. But I think as far as being an artist is concerned, I think respect means that you give artists the tools and the resources they need to really hone in on their crafts, develop their crafts, take the time to really commit to being really great artists. And I think now we've come to a space where it's just, oh, you're cute, you got a fat, you know what? Go on ahead, do whatever it is that you do. I think now the bad B is, you know what I mean? And I think it is difficult to say that things are better when the state of the creative process and what we hear on the radio and what is the constant narrative in music is not better. I don't see how there could be more respect for women now, and the art and the craft isn't as respected as it was then. I think in the 90s, there was a lot more respect for the art and for the artist, male or female. I think now it's just about commerce.
Yeah.
And we're working to change that.
Absolutely. Arin, I got to ask you, from your perspective, to me, like I said, I'm going back. I remember one of the most important parts of being an artist was artist development. And now I'm seeing the lack thereof artist development, where I see artists now that really can't sing. And they make a couple of YouTube videos and end up signing this outrageous deal for a major label. And they put them out there. And I'm like, wait a minute, what happened to the artist development? What happened to someone actually being able to sing, being a vocalist? And I've listened to all three of you collectively. You're vocalists. So I wanted to ask you, how does that make you feel? Not resentful, but how does you make it feel where you see people really don't necessarily put in the necessary time and effort to become an all-around artist?
I think that's a really great question. I think it's funny because even as established artists as we are, we still put ourselves through artist development with Marvelous Entertainment, right? Boot camps,
every day,
vocal boot camps, choreography boot camps, etiquette boot camps, all of the things that people did in the day, we still continue to do. And it's a microwave society. So yes, these people may not have development and maybe have the one hot record, but now you see that what sustains over time is the work.
That's right.
The good work, the good quality music. It may be good for a moment, but what sustains over time is people that put in hard work. You could even look at some of the artists. Hailey Bailey. Hailey Bailey, for example, went through artist development. And you can see now she'll be.
I'm happy to be one of the people who helped her.
Nicci definitely was one of the people who helped her.
If I appear distracted, it's because I'm talking to Teisha and I'm trying to bring her in on mine.
Oh, okay.
Hold on 1 second because she couldn't get in on the other one.
Oh, no problem.
There she is. Okay. Let me add.
Is she in? Ah, there we go.
There she goes. Yep, boom. Okay.
Queen Teisha, my love, how are you
You
doing?
can't hear? Let me try to turn it up here. Okay. Okay.
There she is. I see her. All right. All three, gorgeous as ever. You
Thank you.
know, one of the things that I found to me that really bothers me is that I see a lot of these quote unquote artists are lip syncing to
Mm.
soundtracks, to lip syncing the tracks. There's no real vocals being used. I can mention a lot of different names, but I'm not going to do that. But it bothers me as a music purist,
Mm.
someone who grew up going to concerts and watching people actually perform using their own vocals, live music, live instrumentation. And Nicci, like I said, I've seen you perform the original version of Brownstone, and you guys killed it from a vocal standpoint. And now I'm looking at Arin, I'm looking at Lord have mercy, Teisha. You guys vocally are incredible. What does that say about you or the pride that you take as far as being vocalists and continually to perfect your craft?
I mean, I'm trying to get Tisha's sound set up. I'm sorry. I don't know
Oh, no
why. Maybe
problem.
it's something happening over here. Let me see. I'm sorry. I feel so distracted. I was trying to set it up, Tisha. But the question, I could repeat the, can you hear me? Tisha, can you hear me? You just can't hear him. Okay, so, okay, but we can see you. And the question, should we re-ask the question again? Because I got totally distracted.
Oh,
I'm
no
sorry,
problem.
trying to
No,
help
what I was saying, since you
her.
guys have always taken pride in perfecting your skills, does
Yes.
it bother you that you see a lot of artists that may have talent, but they don't really take it seriously?
Um, Honestly, I can't judge other artists and what they, do vocally or whatever. I like to think that, everybody wants people to love them for who they are and in their gifts, you know what I'm saying? But like I said, the industry has just become one where, it isn't just about your gift anymore. Like you can lip sync and just look amazing. You can, you know, argue with somebody in social media and get millions of streams. So we're just in a different industry, in a different time. Do I wish that artists were more developed, and do I wish that artists put more effort into being authentic for the people who buy their music and support it? Absolutely. But I can't really judge it because it's like you just, I think you just adapt to what's happening, and you just play your game with your ball, and are the best version of yourself that you can be. So I'm not really here to judge, other people at all.
I understand.
Yeah.
This question I'm posing to all three of you beautiful ladies. Sean Combs, he made a comment, was it a little bit over a month ago, about quote unquote R&B is dead, so to speak.
Oh wow.
I don't
Okay.
agree with that. What I think is that I think collectively that we don't put the emphasis on lyrics anymore. A
Mm,
lot of the artists. Then he said, well, you have a lot of quote unquote European artists that come from the United Kingdom and they're singing R&B music and they're getting played on the major radio stations. And I'll say to that because they truly love R&B. They've had a
mhm,
love affair for R&B for almost close to 40 some odd years. So they really love it. They live
mhm,
it. And I think a lot of artists like yourselves who started out really loving this. A lot of the current artists, they don't do it. They're so trying to go with the next flavor. Let's get a hip hop artist on there. Let's drop this. And it's no really, I want some Al Green. I want some Roberta Flack. I want something I can really sink my teeth into, something with feelings and emotions. And that's what I get from All I Want. And I wanted to ask you guys collectively, how do you feel about that?
Aaron, I feel like I've been talking a lot. Now I was trying so busy trying to get Tisha situated. Now I feel like I can pay attention. I apologize for
Yeah.
that.
Oh, no problem. It's no problem.
I
Sorry, she had to jet out. She couldn't see or hear anything.
Yeah, okay. It's no problem. It's no problem.
I actually, I mean, R&B is not dead. Let's just be clear. It can't, because the quality will stay
Hmm.
throughout the years. when you make good music sticks, and that's why we're able to tour and go everywhere and have sold out shows still after over 25 years, to be a part of this group and to be touring and going where we go and all the venues where we travel to. R&B is not dead. And even now, I mean, we were number one on Amazon on the charts in the UK, to your point. So yes,
Yep.
absolutely, with All I
Right.
Want. So yes, there is a hunger for R&B in the UK. But if you think about it, also, I can't say if the lyrics are better or if it's just a lot of the songs that they sing, we've already
Right.
done.
Right, right,
They're,
right, 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 right.
right.
Been
So
there,
it's
done
not
that.
they're not reinventing the wheel,
Right.
but they may have made it sound good in 2022, but they're not
Right.
reinventing the wheel. R&B,
Right.
from its core, comes from Black Americans, you know, and people who are rooted in blues and gospel and all of that kind of stuff. So Motown, so those kind of things, so they people may be recycling those songs, but
Mhm.
at the root of it, it's here. And and Diddy, Diddy is cool because he can say things that can get everybody talking, and then sign an R&B artist the next day to
Yeah.
make it a thing. You know what I'm
Right,
saying? So, or promote his
right. The
R&B
spectacle of
label.
it all.
You know what I'm
Right,
saying?
right,
So,
Yeah.
like,
right.
I get it, but no, absolutely not. We sell out shows, not
Yeah,
just us, but our sisters in song,
yeah,
SWV,
yeah,
Escape. Like, when we
yeah.
go out, Genuine, all these people, there is not a seat left. Right, 90s R&B for real, Nikki.
Yeah,
Though it's not a seat left.
yeah.
So like I said, we can say what we want to say all day, but people determine exactly what's going on. The market tells you what you are or what you aren't. That's the
That's
honest
right.
goodness truth.
That's
And
right.
so they've told us they love it. It's alive. They've with our single, and people like you who we respect and
Right.
have a really pure ear for R&B music. For you to say what you said, we thank you, and that's been the feedback from all of the people in the industry. We sent that song to industry people first, actually.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
We didn't know because we kind of
Yeah.
knew we liked it, but we sent it to all of our industry friends.
Who would just be
Who
completely honest with
who
us?
will tear
Yeah,
you up.
brutally honest. Yeah,
They will tear you
yeah,
up.
yeah.
Okay.
Right.
And just tell you the truth, like, no, this just doesn't work, or this works. And everybody said the same thing. They had the same sentiment as you had. And so it shows that, if you make good music will travel, good music will stick, good music will
Mm-hmm.
stand the test of time. And that's Brownstone in a nutshell.
Without
Absolutely.
question. Without question. I remember having this conversation with Melissa Morgan. This was maybe about 2 months ago.
Mm.
And it really hurt my heart because the conversation detail, she said, look, she said, I'm still trying to figure out how to navigate through social
Mm.
media.
Mm.
I see a lot of these young artists who are singing, and I know they can't sing better than me,
Mm-hmm.
but I'm not able to navigate. And I'm saying it hurt my feelings because I'm saying, wait a minute. I said, that's what happens when at once upon a time you're signed to a major label and you have the label doing everything for you. And now you become an independent artist and then you're lost. You don't know exactly what to do. And I know for all three of you ladies, being independent and having self control over your career is important. And I wanted you
Yes.
kind to expand a little bit on that as far as the level of control, creative control that you have to succeed being an independent artist.
Yeah, I don't think that is specific to being an independent artist. I just think as a person of color in particular, because we are the minority when it comes to owning our narratives and controlling, our brands and our businesses. Ownership is the key to success. I think Tyler Perry is probably the greatest example of what that means or what that looks like. And in music, it's no different than it is in television and film. It is no different than it is in any area of a career or entrepreneurship. I just think you have to know how to do every job. I think you need to know how to the importance of marketing your brand and your business. All of that sort of goes hand in hand. I don't think it's so much about having a label do it all for you as it is about, you know, being willing to sort of accept that times have changed, and like just like once upon a time there were albums and then there were CDs and now music comes out of thin air. You
Right.
just have to educate yourself, and Google is everybody's friend. I think it's difficult for all of us, you know what I mean, to like navigate and like learning when to post and what to post and how to hashtag and all that. It's an ongoing process. But as an independent artist, as a producer, anyone should be focused on building their brand and owning their content. And it is so liberating. It's a lot of work. There are a lot of challenges along the way, but it's the most liberating thing ever.
I look at it from a perspective of being in a relationship. With any relationship, you only get back what you put in.
That's
Mhm.
it.
You
Yeah,
only
that's
get
it.
back
Yep.
you only get back what you put. And I must admit, I felt a little bit like Pookie from New Jack City when all the record stores started closing down.
Yeah,
And here in the
Yeah.
States, I'm like, oh my God, what are we going to do now?
yeah.
Then, as you said, we made that transition to CD, the CD
Hmm.
format, and now all of a sudden, as you said, they're coming out of it's thin air now. Everything
Yeah.
is streaming. But I find it funny when you go outside the United States, when you go to Europe, Australia, Germany, Japan, they have record stores. They have the wax. They have the. To me, it was no greater feeling being able to have a meet and greet with one of your favorite artists,
Yeah.
have that album, and get it signed, and reading the liner notes. It was incredible. What is it like for all three of you when you perform live and have somebody come up to you, a fan, come up to you and say, "We love your music. We love your music. That
Yeah.
particular song that you were singing, it did something that I was going through that same kind of emotion." What does it mean to have that type of level of love and respect?
I mean, everywhere we go, that's what people say. And I guess me being newer, they kind of like, let me gauge, let me see what's going on, and then afterward, it's definitely like,
Yeah.
let me see what's up. All right,
Oh, she
and then
good. Oh, she good. Good. Right.
okay, then they come back and say, you know what? I appreciate that y'all stay true to
Yep.
the album and all of our songs and every when they say our, they mean not Brownstone, not like our songs, they mean their songs, our
That's right.
supporters
That's right.
and the people that listen, it's theirs. They have taken ownership of Brownstone, and so it is important that and it makes you feel good. Now me and Teisha call Nicci, she gonna hate it, but we're gonna say it anyway. We call her a living legend, but it is so true. It is so true because there's not a place that we can't go that somebody doesn't have. I call them testimonies, even though it's not church, but
Right.
it is a testimony. It's a testimony because music moves you like that, where they can tell you exactly where they were when If You Love Me came on, or 5 Miles to Empty, or Grapevine, or any of those songs, sometimes Dancing. They can really tell you exactly where they were. And it happens every week, every time we perform. People tell us how this music moved them, and then they'll specifically say at that night, that time, that night when we perform, they'll say, we thank you for staying true to this and keeping the brand alive and keeping the legacy alive. So it means a lot.
Absolutely.
Collectively, all three of you use so much energy, not just vocally, but just the whole interaction in your live performances. How long does it take you to come down from that kind of euphoric high after you?
Thank you for asking that question,
That's a
because it
great
actually
question.
takes a minute, but unfortunately, those are minutes we don't always have because they're great by the grace of God, always people that we love and care about that are excited to see us. And, and then usually we're on the first thing smoking, which means we're at an airport call at 3:30, 4 o'clock in the
Hmm.
morning. And we miss a full day because then we got to go be nanas and moms and everything else. So it is a challenge. And you're still coming down off of the adrenaline. And I want to give credit where credit is due. It was Kelly Price who said, we're having dinner one day and she just mentioned how as creatives and artists, you put so they don't people don't understand what it takes to kind of you were singing, and it's a gift, but it comes from a place that takes a lot of energy, is the best way to describe it. And so often you put that energy out there and you don't really have time to refuel because it's on to the next thing and on to the next audience and on to the next responsibility. And we're lucky to have each other. And be easy with each other and understanding and supportive of one another. Because I can't imagine being an artist who doesn't have that to lean on. And I think that's the reason why you end up with a lot of tragic stories, because artists give so much and it's just hard for them to take that breath to refuel. And, they make up for it in other ways. Thank
Yeah.
God we don't have to do that.
It's really challenging when you give so
Yeah.
much of yourself to everyone and you have people
Yeah.
pulling you from 5 different directions and say, wait a minute, when do I have time for myself?
Yep.
How do I
And
separate the people who truly love me for me instead of the ones who feel like they're trying to get something from me?
Excuse me.
How do you manage to weed out that and just keep that close knit bond and keep that inner circle real tight?
we talk about that all the time, right, Nikki? Me, you,
Yeah.
and Tisha's like,
Yeah.
the to the core, it is definitely it's our family, our husbands, our
Yep.
kids, our
Yep.
family, that and us.
Yep.
And that's who we rely
Absolutely.
on. That's our village, our management, and that's about it. Like you have to stay grounded. You have to stay true, God and
Mm-hmm.
our faith. You have
Mm-hmm.
to stay true to exactly who you are, because when the lights dim and when 2020 hit and we wasn't on those stages, who could we call? We could call each other.
Right. Right. Right.
Still supporting each other, still loving each other,
Yeah.
and when we go home, like we go to see all these people in all these places. When we come back home, it's family. And I think it's crazy, because you think family would be a hindrance to people's success, but it actually is the driving motivation for all of us.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And people like to say that if you're a mother or you're a wife, that hinders you, but actually that's what grounds you, keeps you motivated, and keeps you
Mm-hmm.
wanting to make sure that you leave a positive legacy.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. I think it's important
Absolutely.
that you do have that significant other who understands you, respects you,
Right.
Mm-hmm.
partnership. They want the best for you because when you win, we all win.
Amen to
Collectively,
that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
collectively win. But I must, Aaron, I seen you at
I
one
like
of
when you say my name, Aaron.
And
the.
and
Aaron.
I gotta say it with love. Yes,
You say it
Lord.
with love.
I gotta
I
say
receive it with love.
yes, Lord. And for those who are tuning in late, shame on you. But the teddy bear does forgive you. We're being joined, of course, Brownstone, Arin, and Nicci. We had Teisha on for a hot second, but that's okay. The teddy bear still has so much love.
She loves you.
I've seen you give 1,000% vocally
Mhm.
live. How do you go home and say, well, I'm going from that where I'm going to cook some breakfast or cook dinner? How do we go from that kind of.
That's it. Listen, there's no stage.
right.
There's no
Right.
stage manager. There's no production
That's
people
gonna get
here.
right, honey. Listen.
Things got to get done, okay? And I'm wife and mom and daughter and sister, and that's really wife and mom first before anything. And that's the order of it. Now maybe laundry don't get done a little bit because I'm on tour, so we got to get somebody to do that. But you might have a few little jerseys you got to rewash again. That's on you.
Yeah.
But for the most part, like if there is an order to things, and I'm fortunate. I mean, God really blessed me to be part of a group that really understands that, because when you're in this industry, you will realize that family isn't priority for everybody.
Mm-hmm.
And so Nicci having gone through every part of this industry has made her such a wise, I would say she's one of the smartest women that I know. She is, absolutely.
Thank you.
But it made her, her perspective on what was really true and what you should really value trickles down, and it's with them. And Teisha's the same way, dedicated to her family. But and it's good, it's great, because we power up with our families, and that's why we're able to give the shows and be out and travel and do all the things that we need to do. Like so many women, it's moms all over the world. This is what we do.
Absolutely.
This is what we do, And dads.
Remember, family, definitely go out, get the new hit single, All I Want. It is available as we speak.
All platforms.
Miss Gilbert, my love.
Yes.
Your business acumen is second to none.
Don't say that.
No. Hey, I'm just being honest, because You've been in this industry a long time, and you know, first and foremost, is business before music. The
Mm-hmm.
importance of owning your masters, the
Mm,
importance of knowing what exactly you were signing when they put that contract in front of you.
mm,
And I think a couple of times that I've heard you do some previous interviews, you spoke on that a little bit, basically educating a lot of these artists that are thinking about getting in this industry. Know your paperwork.
mhm,
Make sure you have the proper lawyers that are going to do right by you and don't sign your
mhm,
life away, because you get someone from the inner city
mhm,
that's never seen $75,000 before in their life, and they
right.
give it to them and say, "We're going to put you out there," and basically, excuse me, Lord, for saying this, they trying to pimp you. They put you
Mhm,
out there. They expect a certain amount of sales. You
mhm,
get those sales, and you go to your sophomore album, and it does not exceed what you did the first time. They're ready to
mhm,
drop you off the label.
mhm,
Everyone has experienced that, or they know someone that experienced that. And
mhm.
I wanted to ask you, now that you guys have redone everything, a fresh outlook, a positive outlook from a musical standpoint, what are your goals for 2023? We're right around the corner. Right around the corner.
Absolutely. Well, first I want to say, um, it, I did not know a lot of the things that I've learned, right? I didn't know those things. I was 23 years old when I signed my contract. So I was one of those people who took that, it wasn't $75,000, it was less than that. But I was one of those people, who
Right.
took the cash at that point. And
Right.
the reason I'm such an advocate now is just because I understand the impact of, not being aware of what it is that you're signing, and being someone who is considered an industry veteran. It's been almost 30 years. I've just learned a lot in the process. So I haven't always been a good businesswoman. I'm learning to be a better businesswoman. It seems like I learned something new every other day, like literally. So I'm really excited about taking, as you talk about 2023, I'm really excited about taking all of these lessons that I've learned recently, because we're learning about what the industry is now. I have to hit Aaron up and be like, okay, so sis, look, so now what was the steps you took last year when you guys, you know what I mean? Like, and Aaron is like, no, no, no. So this is what we need to do for that. And this is what. So I'm still learning. I think 2023 is going to be more learning. I think it's going to be a year of success, and wins for Brownstone and for everything we touch, for us as individuals, for us as a collective, as a group. I think it is going to be an opportunity for our story to expand and touch and reach more people. I think we're speaking from a place that people can understand, um, who are in our age group, but also a language that younger artists who really want to, pay homage or acknowledge, the greats from the past, to get on board and help, amplify that as well, because I think there are a lot of young artists out there that are still listening to Brownstone and still enjoying our music. So I think it is just a year of learning and growing and collaborating and winning Grammys. And no, it's not about winning Grammys, but it is about advocating for creatives. It is about supporting those who are really out here, like I said in the earlier interview, digging deep and finding reason to stay in the game and stay creative, and keep putting out great music, because it's easy to get discouraged, like you mentioned with, was it Melissa Morgan you mentioned earlier?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
it's really easy to get discouraged when you're in the industry, where you feel like, and I said this in the last interview, you feel like at a certain age they sort of lead you out of the pasture. But I think that that is a mentality that we bring upon ourselves based on what we see and what we fear, because of what we once knew and what is now. You feel what I'm saying?
Right.
Instead
Absolutely.
of rolling up our sleeves, hitting Google, because the Google is your friend, right? And learning that the world has evolved. And
Yeah.
while it is, we access a lot more people, there are good things about that, which, numbers and manipulating numbers and what you can do to get them, the algorithms. But I'm sorry, the bad things about it, because we know that happens. And the good news is that we're now able to reach more people. If you think about the amount of streams, like I was looking at our streams on Spotify, and I was like, golly, we had 1 million streams of If You Love Me
Yeah.
this month. 1 million streams
Yeah.
this month. Imagine selling 1 million records, You know what I'm saying? Like, so we're reaching 1 million streams a month, where before the goal was 1 million records over the course of an album. So you
Yeah.
have access to more people. And I think just learning how to really leverage that and learning how to adjust to this new world of how content is consumed and understanding that people want the whole story,
Yeah.
right?
Absolutely.
Digestible nuggets of it, but the whole story.
Absolutely.
As
I
I have
think.
a long-winded ass answer to your question.
Oh no, not at all, my love. One of the beautiful things I love about this now, the new format, where during a period of time in the industry, you had to have artists travel from city to city, state to
Yeah.
state to promote anything and everything they're doing.
Hmm.
And now you can sit up here and do live interviews
Yeah.
inside and outside the United States to promote
Right, right.
anything and
All over
everything
the
that you
world.
want to do.
Yeah.
It is a beautiful,
It's
beautiful.
a trade-off. You miss
Yes.
the interpersonal connection, but it's like,
Right.
oh, I can do this and I can do that, and it's all good. Yeah.
Yeah, it is. It's a beautiful thing. And family, to get all the latest updates, let your fingers do the walking. Be sure to stop by the official website. That's brownstoneofficial.com. You can also catch up with them with the same handle on Instagram. I am pulling for you ladies to win
Thank
a Grammy.
you.
You
Thank
deserve it.
you.
You
If you
deserve
are a Grammy voter,
Yes, Lord.
Voting ends October 23rd. We're on that ballot.
That's next
Mhm.
Thursday.
There you
Best
go.
traditional R&B. Yes.
There you go. I got to ask you one last question before I let you ladies leave. Has anyone from Versus approached you at all to do?
No.
No, shame on them.
I don't. No. And this is no shade to Versus, right?
Okay.
It's no shade to Versus at all. But I just something about the whole like which one is the best.
Oh,
We all dope. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? So like I know it's fun and it's light, but you know, I'm such an advocate that I it is in my DNA. And I just don't ever want to be on the stage with somebody like trying to prove I'm better than them.
right.
Because I don't think any of us is better than the other. I think we all were dope. I think we like who, you know, a change of faces. Hey, let's just enjoy each other
Yeah.
and support each other. No shade to Versus. Go for it.
There you
I'm just not here for it.
Well, you know what? Hopefully, you guys are making it over to Japan or either
I'm
Australia.
sure.
Oh my goodness! I've been to Japan 3 times,
Ooh.
and the love affair that they have with R&B, country music,
No doubt.
Oh my goodness,
Yeah.
They're actually one of our top right now. We're
Yep.
top streamed in
Japan,
the UK,
Ukraine.
Japan.
Yeah, that's
and,
crazy.
so you're absolutely right. You're dead on with that. Like, yeah, Japan has been eating up. We just said we were trying to put all the parts together to do an overseas tour because our fans are just eating up the new song and then trickling down to the new.
There you go. To all the promoters, I know you're tuning in. You better
I'll let your girls, Marvelous Entertainment, marvelous.adc@gmail.com. You can find them on brownstoneofficial.com. Did I tell you on my other job I want to do radio?
Yes,
Okay, you can
Lord.
tell I'm tired.
Oh my goodness. Miss Nicci, thank you for joining us this evening. And Lord have mercy, Arin Jackson.
Say my name. There we go.
My God.
I like how he was like, Miss Nicci, thank you for joining us. And
Thank you, Nicci.
Lord have mercy, almighty
Go.
oh Jesus Christ.
Listen.
Oh,
That
my
husband,
goodness. Hey,
we both got
hey, I'm gonna tell you something.
13 and 14.
They be right there behind us.
Right.
Like I said, I seen you guys perform live, and I said, okay. And I said, man, they all 3 look gorgeous. But I said, Lord have mercy, Arin. Jesus H. Christ.
She is gorgeous. And so is
Thank
Teisha.
you.
We're all
I
gorgeous.
mean, Teisha, Nick.
I'm Big Sister Almighty, so you're going to cut that on out, Teddy Bear. You're going to go over there, Tasha K. She got teddy bears over there somewhere. This one over here already got a man.
Husband.
There go that strong will, baby. There go that strong will.
Hey, I tell them all the time. There's
gotta
nothing
protect
wrong
my
with
little
dreaming,
sisters.
my Lord.
That's
Nothing
it.
wrong with
Yeah.
you. Well, ladies, thank you so much
Thank
again
you.
for
Thank
honoring
you.
us. And family, remember, go get the new hit single, All I Want. God bless my queens and keep it soulful, okay?
All right,
Thank
thank
you.
you.
Thank you for
Bye.
having us.
My pleasure. The fantastic Brownstone. Yes, Lord. Here in the zone of Night Tracks, LOTO Radio. Remember, family, be sure, again, get the new hit single, All I Want. Be sure to stop by the official website. That's at brownstoneofficial.com. And also on Instagram. That's at instagram.com/Brownstone Official. Thank you so much for allowing the teddy bear to bring some soothing music, quality, and substance. Always a beautiful thing. And also, I want to send out a very special thank you to the princess, of course, Samantha J. Thank you for joining us earlier part of this afternoon. And be sure to get her new hit single, of course, Push Your Luck. And she's also song is also up for a Grammy nomination for Best Solo, Pop Solo Performance. So do the right thing. But as in always, keep it soulful here in the zone of Night Tracks Radio. Lord have mercy.